You can went viral in this clip. This is you speaking to some of this on your show from April 5th. Here's 34.
Charlie takes a big buyout, okay? Because a multinational corporation like Unilever buys the chocolate factory and they move all of the jobs offshore. He didn't even like chocolate. He just liked going to orgies on a yacht in international waters. He comes back, he wipes the blood off himself from just throwing a woman over a boat. And they said, Charlie, why did you sell the factory? Why are all the Oompa Loompas on fentanyl? And Charlie says, it's a shame how trans people are treated in this country. And they go, what? And it almost feels like Charlie himself is using some of this to get people's mind off the fact that he sold his chocolate factory to a global multinational conglomerate who's offshored all of the jobs. Now we say to the Oompa Loompas, I hope you got your Bitcoin. No. I'm trying to make the chocolate bar. Oh, we don't do that here anymore. Go work at Panera. So that's what America is. It's an Oompa Loompa at Panera. Yeah, I think that the American working class has been thrown aside by both parties. Yeah. And I think that people in this country that are fortunate can't fully understand the desperation in a lot of parts of the country that have been ignored. And I think a lot of that has to do with the deindustrialization of the country. Now, there's going to be periods of adjustment. There's going to be ugliness. There's going to be, but I think the country is more than an economic zone. I don't think you could see it as just a place to make money. I think you have to see it as a place where you have a culture. A country is something where you have to go to war to protect, right? I don't think people can just see it as a place where there are financial opportunities.
Yeah, we got a roaring market.
Yeah, right. So I think that obviously it's important that people have a good standard of living, that they have money. We all want those things, but I also think there has to be some attention paid to large swaths of the country that are not, sharing in any of the prosperity of the last, 20 to 30 years.
It's like, I've heard you talk about how in 20 years, the Democrats became Republicans and the Republicans became the Democrats.
Right.
And it's really so true in so many ways because you look at the Democrats used to talk like that.
Yeah.
But it got changed into all they want to do is create one big social safety net. It's just giveaways, government giveaways, you're a single mother, here's another check.
Right.
As opposed to Trump's approach, which seems to be, let me change the whole environment around you so you have more working opportunities. Let me lighten your tax burden if you're a waitress.
Right.
As opposed to just let me dump a bunch of free phones or goodies on you so that you'll keep voting for me.
Well, the Democratic Party was purchased by Wall Street, and Wall Street has ideas about how the way the country should function. Wall Street wants endless supply of cheap labor. They want open borders. The Koch brothers loved open borders. It was because it was an endless supply of cheap labor. It broke the back of the working class. It destroyed unions, and it provided companies with low wage labor so that their profits went up. None of those profits were shared with their workers.
But they got bigger mansions at the top.
And the Democratic Party became completely purchased by Wall Street. And then identity politics is then kind of manifested as a way to convince people that actually they are interested in changing things. But by changing things, they don't mean giving you health care. They mean giving you like a trans Batman.
Right.
That's what they're doing, right? So they're basically
or Snow White who hates Snow White.
Snow White who's just not into it, right? Who thinks it's like some type of rape fantasy or something, like it's a children's book. But it becomes a great, there's a great quote, and it's for things to stay the same, they must change, or something of that nature. Things must change to stay the same.
Yeah.
What the Democratic Party has become is a party that says we're going to give you a female CEO, but we're not going to give you any bit more, of a pathway to a life. Mm-hmm. So we're going to give you
you better feel good about the fact that there's a female CEO. You better feel good about
the fact that there's progress in this very aesthetic area that doesn't matter really to your life. Mm-hmm. Other than to say, well, that's nice,
Yeah.
But most people are concerned with the financial reality of their own family.
What do you make of, as a comedian, of Trump and his comedy skills? Like,
he's the funniest politician ever. And I think a lot of it is he doesn't really know that he's being funny. I think he's just being honest in his way.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. So like he's just calling things the way he sees it. He's really good at it. And, and it doesn't mean honest in the global sense because he'll say things that aren't true. No politician is. But when he says things that are funny, I think it's because people are not used to hearing that from a politician.
The best example is the one where he gave the deposition in the E. Jean Carroll case against him, and the lawyer said, did you say it's okay when you're a celebrity to grab him by the P word?
Yeah.
When you're a celebrity, they let you do it? And he said, yes, that's because, for thousands of years, that's just been the way it is, unfortunately. Or fortunately. It's just him.
No, what makes him effective is that he understands that there's a way that you can communicate that whether the people don't stop listening.
Yes.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
So many politicians, you turn them off.
Very hard to turn out when Trump's on.
You will never turn him off.
Right? You don't know where it's going.
I've said I'm going to watch 10 minutes of his speech and it's an hour and a half.
Yes.
And I watched the whole thing.
Yes.
Because there's a musicality to it. It's like jazz. He comes in and out and he goes from this thing to that thing, and it's very much a stream of consciousness.
Yes, he did the EO on the faucets, making showers great again, like the free flow of water. And he's talking about how keeping his beautiful hair. He likes to shampoo his beautiful hair.
Well, he also doesn't patronize people. Like I remember, you had Anna Dashram, they brought up a great point of he shows up to this rally late, and he complained about his private plane, that it wasn't working. And he goes, they screw you, they keep you on the runway. He's not pretending that he can empathize fully with someone who's, in a different financial situation. He's saying, this is who I am. This is the way I see it. There's an authenticity to it, even though people hate it.
Yeah. Nor is he running around calling himself a founder.
People hate it.
As a founder.
Right. He's right.
I have some experience with this.
I think people hate it. I think there's a snobbery to it where people look at him and go, we don't like that he represents America. Mm-hmm. We don't like that.
Not that America.
Yeah, right. We'd rather someone from Harvard, even though he went to a great school, but we'd rather someone who understands that there's a certain language that we all speak and he doesn't speak it.
Tariff wars, stubborn inflation, no wonder gold has been routinely hitting all-time highs. In volatile markets like the one we have now, don't sit on the sidelines with your head in the sand. You can take control and safeguard your savings now. This is why so many Americans today are turning to Birch Gold Group. They've helped tens of thousands convert an existing IRA or 401k into one in physical gold. Is it time for you to hedge against economic instability with gold? To learn how to own physical gold in a tax-sheltered account, text MK to 989898. Birch Gold will send you a free no-obligation info kit. Again, text MK to the number 989898. A+ rating with a Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews. Birch Gold has helped so many. It took us decades to get into the tangled mess we're in right now. How long to get out of it? Text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.